welcome to this week's Pilates for All class. Again, I'm going to offer modifications as we go during class, so do take them if you need them, and there'll be progressions as well. So if you're feeling really good today, you can push it a little harder. The only piece of equipment you'll need is maybe a hoodie if you're someone who struggles head, neck and shoulders, if you have tension there, or if you've been sitting at a desk a lot or on your phone a lot. I would recommend having a hoodie just for a bit of support for the neck and head when we are lying down. And you'll need a cushion as well, or a pillow. If you have a small round firm cushion, that's brilliant. If not, if you have a bigger one, just fold it over because you will need a little bit of support. We're going to be lying on it. So a pillow or a cushion is fine as long as you can fold it over, otherwise a small, more firm cushion. Okay, so we're going to start today with Mermaid. So you can sit in this position here if you have any injuries in the hips. I would recommend going in this position and you can change over halfway. Otherwise, we're going to go to a Zed Sit Position. So I'm going to bring my right foot back to my right bum cheek, and then I'm going to have my left foot tucked into the front. Now if this right here just feels a little bit uncomfortable, but it's not totally uncomfortable, try and stick with it. The hips will ease up as we go, and if they don't, the back leg can come out or we can go to the original position. Now from here, I'm going to lengthen my spine up. I'm going to make sure my bum cheeks are down to start, and I'm not going to do any twisting with my body. I'm going to be sliding side to side. So if you imagine you're in a toaster, you can only slide from left to right, you can't twist. First thing I'm going to do, take my left hand down to the mat, big inhale, exhale, I'm going to reach my right arm up and over. As I do, I'm going to drop down to that left elbow, get a little bit more reach. Now what I'm going to do from here is create loads of space between my ribs and hips on the right side of my body. Let the ribs on the right side of my body lift towards the sky, and now I'm going to push into the elbow of that left hand. I'm going to create space between my shoulders and my ears. Take a big inhale, draw a rainbow with that right hand as you sweep it over. Exhale, left arm comes up and over. This time creating space between the ribs and hips on the left side of the body. Big inhale, draw that rainbow. Exhale, change to the opposite side. Now you can move from left to right in your own time. I would say take about 3 seconds each side. Make sure that you're creating that space and length on the side of the body before changing. I would always exhale as you change and inhale as you come back towards center. Remember, you're not twisting here, you're sliding the body side to side. So your breastbone is going to be facing forward all the time. And all you're doing is shortening the space between ribs and hips on one side as you lengthen on the other. Keeping the chest open and proud. And always looking to keep a bit of space between the shoulders and the ears so that we don't pick up any tension there. We'll go for 3 more. Pushing that stretch a little bit more now. For 2. And last one. When you've finished, bring it to center, roll your shoulders back. Now we're going to stay with the legs in this same position. I want you to really focus so that you can keep your left knee down on the mat. Don't worry if your right bum cheek lifts a little bit, but don't let it peel off completely. Bring your hands in front of your chest. Go about shoulder width apart, just so you have a bit of space to keep the chest open. Now from here, I'm going to inhale, arms up into the sky, lift my breastbone up. Exhale, flex to the right, flex my breastbone to the right. Flex to the front, and then I'm going to go across to the left. I want my shoulders and chest to really move here. You're drawing a big, huge circle. And we're just warming up the spine, warming up the shoulders all the way through to the arms, neck and head. I would exhale as I go around in my circle and inhale as I come towards center. As much as you flex forward, extend back at the top. And just take note, if you find it easier to move to the left or the right, it's always good to take note if we have one side of the body a little bit more mobile than the other, so we can focus on working on it a bit more. Now let's change direction of that circle. I'm going to go left first, forward, out to the right. I'm still extending back at the top and all the way around. Big exhale as I go around and inhale as I come back to center. Still focusing on keeping that left knee down. Taking my breath all the time with me. For the last 2. And last 1. When you've finished, pop your hands on your knees and just roll your shoulders away. You should start to feel the upper body warming up. Your hips are actually should be warming up here now as well. Now all you're going to do is just change your legs around. So I'm going to swap over, right foot tucked into the front, left foot to the back. If from the other side now you have a bit of discomfort in the hips, or you're a bit tight in the hips anyway, just keep that back leg out. Otherwise we're keeping you tucked back in. Remember, to start, we're in that toaster again, so we're going to lengthen through our spine, chest is open, roll the shoulders back. Take a big inhale, I'm going to bring my right elbow down to the mat, exhale, left arm up and over. Feel that space between the ribs and hips, feel that space between the shoulders and ears. Big inhale, reach the arm up into the sky, exhale, opposite arm over. Taking your breath with you all the time, and just feel that breath in the ribs. As you inhale, let your ribs expand, and if that's out to the sides or the front or the back, whichever way, just let them move. And as you exhale, let those ribs sink back down. Again, take this at your own pace, there's no rush, and do try and hold for about 3 seconds each side. Imagine your arm reaching up and out of your shoulder socket. That's how much of a stretch you're getting through the sides of your body. Always keeping the space between the shoulders and ears so we don't pick up any tension. Going for another 2. And last one. When you finish then, we're going to roll the shoulders away. Sit ourselves up nice and tall. This time we're focusing on that right knee staying down. Left bum cheek can lift a little bit, but it's not going to peel completely off. And we're going to bring the hands in front of the chest. Slightly wider than chest distance apart. Roll the shoulders back. And this time we will be moving the chest, the shoulders. You're going to inhale, reaching up, flex the body back. Exhale, flex to the right. Flex your chest to the front. Come over to the left and go all the way around. You might notice as you're reaching to the left, that right knee wants to lift. Keep it down, you get a better stretch into those hips. You've got that hip externally rolled out. So it's a nice way to stretch that inner thigh all the way through to the hip. Make sure we're getting the same amount of flexion all the way around. And if that means going for a little bit of a smaller circle today, you can. You want to feel your breastbone flex to the right, flex to the front, to the left, and towards the sky. When you're ready, we can change direction. Now, when you change direction, you might notice now, as maybe you're getting a little bit tired in the movement, that it's getting really, really small. Try and stay consistent with the size and build yourself back up to just as big as you went in the other direction. Always remembering to take the breath with you. We've got another 2, nearly there. And then go for your last one. Pop the hands onto your knees and you can roll the shoulders back. Now we should be nice and warm. We're after warming up inner thighs, outer thighs, hips, shoulders, upper body. We're going to bring our hands around to the mat. Going to have your hands slightly forward of your shoulders, knees under your hips. We're coming into a table position. Now when you have your hands flat down on the mat, spread your fingers, push the mat into the ground. So you don't want to be dipping down here, bent elbows, shoulders rounding or scrunching together. Push the mat away. So then you have good stabilization in your shoulders, everything's nice and strong. My wrists are always going to be ever so slightly forward of my shoulders so that I'm not putting any unnecessary pressure down on them, and my knees are under my hips. Now from here, I'm going to take an inhale. As I do, I'll tuck my chin in. I'll round out my upper spine, I'll look towards my belly button, tuck my tail under, up into an angry cat position. As I exhale, I'm going to release my tailbone out, open out the bony parts of my bum. I'm going to lift my breastbone up, open out my collarbone, look as high into the sky as I can, and then again start to inhale, tuck the chin in, round out, look towards the belly button, tucking that tail under. Exhale, releasing, opening the collarbone, letting your head move through your shoulders and letting the bony parts of the bum open out behind you. And just move between these 2 positions, curling up and releasing out. All the time when you're doing this, you're pushing your hands into the mat so your shoulders stay really stable and strong. Focus on that movement of your pelvis, feeling your hip bones roll towards your belly button and feeling your hip bones roll towards your pubic bone. Feeling the bony parts of the bum opening out and feeling them come back to center. Now what I want you to do from here is find a place between the two that's balanced. So I'm not going to be completely tucked up, I'm not going to be completely arched. If I came around with a stick and put it on your back, I'd want the stick to touch the back of your head, your shoulders and your bum. So you want to be in a pretty straight line with your back. Hands still strong, knees still strong. Now from here, all I'm going to do is transfer all the weight into my right hand. I'm going to reach my left hand out in front. Now when I do, I give a thumbs up towards the sky, because when your arm is reaching out of your shoulder or up into the sky, we externally roll it up. So that's what we're going to do here too. Find that balance, make sure you're not leaning over to the right, place that hand down. Transfer all the weight into the left, right hand comes out in front. Hold it for 1, 2, thumbs up towards the ceiling, hand comes back down. Now you can take this at your own pace. What we're looking to do is test the stability in your shoulders. If you find when the arm goes up and your body weight falls to the side and you start wobbling and shaking, your shoulders might just be a little bit weaker or a little bit stiff or tired. You want to focus on keeping everything centered and stable as best you can. If that means just bringing your hand a little bit off the mat and bringing it back down, that's fine. We'll go for another 3. All the time breathing in and out of our ribs. We want those ribs to be moving up and down. For 2. And the last one. When you've finished, balance the weight between your left and your right hand. Now this time, all I'm going to do is lift my right leg out behind. Now you don't have to lift the leg really high, you don't have to go higher than your bum because we'll get a big arch in our back. Just lift it straight out from the bum or even a little lower. Now when you lift the leg up, you might notice you roll out into that hip. So pop your hand on your hip, you want the hips to face down towards your mat, okay? And it will happen where the hip will just roll up, so keep them square and balanced. From there then, you're going to bring that knee back down. We're going to go opposite leg. When I lift the leg up, I make sure I'm not twisting out to the side. I bring it all to center. I make sure my body weight stays centered, and then I change leg. We're going to go for 4 more. Try to not let your back arch hugely here. You can go a little lower with your foot if you find that happening. Go for 3. Try and have your eye focus ever so slightly forward. So maybe looking at the front of your mat or looking 2 or 3 inches ahead of your fingertips, just so that we keep the length in the back of the neck. And when you're ready, last one, we're going to reach our right leg out, we're going to hold it there. Now I'm going to stay nice and strong in my hands and my shoulders. I'm going to inhale, draw my knee in towards my chest. As I do, tuck my chin in, round out my upper spine. As I release the leg out, I'm releasing out, just like we did at the very start of the sequence. So as my knee comes in, my chin tucks in, I round out into an angry cat. As my knee reaches away, I release my body out. Inhale, draw the knee in, scoop up. Exhale, release out. Now if you're doing this and you're like, this feels great, I feel really strong, I feel really stable, pause with the leg out on the next one. Left arm comes out in front. Now you can keep going with just the knee, or we can go elbow to knee, curl up into a ball, reach the arm out, reach the leg out, release. Eye focus goes up as you reach out. Eye focus to the belly button as you curl it. Deep breath. Inhale in, exhale out. Go for another 4. Try and keep that body weight centered, keep that hip facing down to the mat. Go for 3. It's a super test for the stability in the pelvis and the shoulders. Last 2. Last one, reach and hold. Eye focus, looking slightly forward now. Keep the length in the back of your neck. Push into your right hand, push into your left knee. Stay stable. Is your right hip bone facing down to the mat? If not, turn it down. Hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand comes down, knee comes down. Toes come together, knees go out wide. Sit your bum back to your heels and reach your hands forward. Try and sink your chest down towards the mat and just take a few deep breaths. Even here, try and keep a bit of space between your shoulders and your ears. And then imagine your arms are reaching out of your shoulder sockets and getting a lovely big stretch all the way down to the base of your spine. From your fingertips right to the bottom of your spine, you're lengthening out. Your fingers are reaching away in one direction, your bum is reaching away in the other. Another 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll slowly come back into our table position. So again, we'll set ourselves up, hands slightly forward of our shoulders, fingers spread, nice good base and support. Knees under the hips. From here then, we're going to reach our left leg out behind. I'm going to make sure my left hip bone is facing down to the mat. My hands are nice and strong on the mat and my eye focus ever so slightly forward of the top of the mat. From here, inhale, draw the knee in, tuck your chin in, round out, reach the leg out, release out, eye focus goes up as the leg reaches away. Inhale, drawing in, tucking the chin in, exhale, reaching out and reaching away. Push those fingers into the mat, give yourself good base and support, keep those shoulders strong. Again, if you're feeling really strong here, we can reach the opposite arm out. So, right arm reaches out, you can stay with the arm out in front, or we're going to go elbow to knee, and then reach away. As your elbow meets your knee, look towards the elbow and knee, round out, reach the arm out, reach the leg out, release everything out, eye focus goes up. Eye focus comes in, curling in, and then release it out. Beautiful movement for the spine, beautiful movement for the shoulders and hips. We'll go for another 4. And 3. And 2. And last 1. Reach out and hold. Hips down to the mat, eye focus slightly forward. Push into that left hand, push into that right knee, balance. Imagine your fingertips reaching forward in front, your toes reaching out behind. Feel the length all the way through the body, shoulders away from the ears, 6 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand comes down, knees come down. Spread the knees nice and wide, at least shoulder width apart. Toes come together, sit your bum back. And you can reach your arms forward. Take lovely long deep breaths. Reach your fingers a little bit further forward here and allow your chest to sink down. Try and control your breathing with big inhales through the nose and big exhales through the mouth. Then from here, we'll come back into our table position. Knees under the hips, hands slightly forward of the shoulders. Now from here, try and have your back nice and straight. We're just going to tuck our toes under. I'm going to push into my hands, my toes, and I'm going to lift my bum up. Now you can move your hands if you need to. Sink your head between your shoulders. You're looking for a flat back position here. Don't worry if your heels are lifting up. If you can get the heels down, great, but if not, don't worry. Heels as close to the mat as your body will allow. Legs as straight as your body will allow. Now if you're really tight in the hamstrings or you have a hamstring injury, keep a soft bend in the knees here. Otherwise, legs completely straight. Sink your head a little deeper now. Look between your thighs to the wall behind you and move your chest towards your thighs. Sink your head between your shoulders and just relax into that stretch. Deep breaths. From here, I'm going to rock my hips forward, my shoulders forward. I'm going to let my head come through my shoulders, keep my collarbone open. I'm into a plank position now. I have my eye focus slightly forward of my shoulders. and I've got my back nice and straight. Every time I breathe, as I inhale, my ribs go up towards the ceiling, and as I exhale, they expand. That's how we're going to keep the core nice and tight. Now from this position here, I'm going to take my left hand back to my right ankle. So stay nice and strong in your right hand, left hand back to right ankle. The hand comes back to center. Right hand back to left ankle, hand comes back to center. Now take your time with this. You're working your obliques, but we're also getting a stretch all the way through the spine. Try and keep it flat back as you reach the hand back. And try and keep those legs straight. Let your bum go up. And always look in the direction that your hand is moving. We'll go for 4. For 3. For 2. And last one. Hands back to center. We can lower down onto the mat. Cross your hands over. And you can rest your head down onto your hands. Now from here, you can keep your hands down on the mat. What we're going to do is take a big inhale, and then as you exhale, we're going to lift our head up through our shoulders. Take our eye focus up, and we're just going to raise the chest. Lift your breastbone towards the sky, and then slowly lower back down. Then again, big inhale, raise your head up like you're giving a nod up towards the ceiling. Breastbone lifts, and slowly lower back down. Go for 2 more like this. Curling up, and releasing back down. And next one, we're going to lift and hold. Lift your breastbone up, deep breaths. Lower the head. Now from here, we're going to advance the movement. So what I'm going to do is switch on the muscles in my legs. So I'm going to squeeze the muscles in the fronts of my thighs. I'm going to squeeze my calves. I'm going to point my toes. When you do this, your feet will normally lift off the ground, and that's perfectly fine. So keep them up if they are going down. Keep them nice and strong. You want to feel your hip bones on your mat. So I go a little wider with my knees to press my hip bones down and feel that connection. This time I'm going to keep my hands connected with my head as I lift. Big inhale, I'm going to lift my head, keep the elbows wide, lift my chest, legs are active. And then I'm going to lower back down. Then again, I'm going to lift up, lift my eye focus, lift my breastbone, elbows stay wide, lower back down. Nice extension here. You want to feel your spine lifting up, feel your heart lifting towards the ceiling. Now find your breath here. I like to inhale as I lift and exhale as I lower, but that works for my body, it might not work for yours, so try out the different breaths. But for the length of time you're lifting up, you're doing an inhale or an exhale, and the length of time you're lowering, you're doing an inhale or an exhale. 2 more. And the last one, we're going to lift and hold. Hold for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release down and rest. Now from here, when you're ready, we're going to come up onto our elbows. So we're going to stay lying down on our belly, just come up onto the elbows here. You can have your hands in fists, or you can have your hands flat down onto the mat, spread your fingers. Again, we want to switch the legs on, so we're going to squeeze the muscles in the bum, squeeze the muscles in the thighs, point the toes. Now from here, I'm going to kick my left heel to my bum. 1, 2. On the third one, I'm going to lift hold. I'm going to have my foot point, toes pointing towards the ceiling, foot over my knee. Now using my hip flexors, I'm going to lift the leg up. So from the hip, lift and lower. Release the leg, but keep the leg active. Do it again. Pump 1, pump 2, last one, hold. Lift from the hip and down. Release. We'll do that again. Pump 1, pump 2, last one, lift using the hip and down. Now if you're tight in the hips, Your lift might be a couple of centimeters off the mat, that's fine. We're going to change leg, right leg, keep it active. Pump 1, 2, last one, lift, hold. Lift using the hip, up and down. Right leg again, you're going to pump 1, pump 2, last one, hold and lift. Release. Last one on this leg, pump 1, pump 2, and last one, hold and lift. Release and let it out. Well done. Okay, the legs are nice and ready now for our side leg series. So what I'm going to get you to do is just turn over on your side on the mat. Now you have a few different options here depending on how the neck and head are feeling. You can have a hoodie rolled up or a cushion, and you can rest your head on the cushion just like this. You're going to have your knees out from your hips, feet down from your knees. I'm going to go up on my elbow just because I find that more comfortable, but if you prefer lying down flat, is a little bit easier for most people. Now I'm going to keep my feet glued together and my knees are stacked. I'm going to take my hand onto my top hip, and all I'm going to do from here in this 90-90 position with my legs is just open my knees and then close them. My feet stay glued. I'm just opening here and closing. Now all we're doing here is just switching on the muscles in our bum a little bit and just opening out the hip. So in lifting that left leg up, I'm externally rolling that hip bone out. I'm switching on the muscles right in the center of my bum. We're going to go for 4 more like this. And 3. And 2. And last one. Now we're going to a hip lift. So this time your foot will lift off. I'm going to lift my foot, lift my knee up into a hip lift, and I'm going to lower back down. Then again, I'm going to lift the knee, lift the foot, and I'm going to lower it down. Deep breaths now. This will get a little bit more intense. All we're doing now is just activating the muscles in the bum so that we know we're using the right thing when we get into the sequence. Go for another 4. Don't worry if your movement is a lot smaller than mine. For 2. Last one, you're going to lift, hold it. You're going to extend the leg out. Now I want to have my heel in line with my bum. I want to point my toe. From here, this is your bottom position, your starting position. Your leg won't go any lower than this. So my foot is the same height as my top hip. From here, I'm going to lift my leg up towards the ceiling. As I do, I'm going to point my toe up towards the sky. And then I'm going to lower the leg back down. So the big toe points up as you go up, and then lower back down. Big toe up, and lower back down. Now if you're any bit tight on the inner thigh or your hips, you might find this really, really challenging. Move up as high as your body will allow, as high as feels comfortable for you, but challenging. Go for another 3 like this. And 2. And last one, lower down, point your toe forward. Now this time, you're going to sweep your foot forward in front of your hip like you're throwing a kick. Once it's in front of your hip, flex your foot, bring your heel back in line with your bum. Point the toe, sweep the foot forward, flex the foot, heel back in line with your bum. Sweeping forward, lovely stretch for the hamstring, flex the foot, bring that heel back. Deep breaths. Forward, flex the foot, heel comes back. Lovely. Now find your breath. Everyone's breath will be different for leg work, depending on where you're tighter or stronger. So I would always exhale on the hardest part of the movement, inhale on the easier part. For me in this movement, I always inhale forward and exhale as I come back. Try not to let your foot drop down as it travels back here. You will have a tendency to do that when you get tired. Just 2 more. Last one. Finish with that foot in line with your bum. Point the toe forward. Now from here, don't let your foot go any lower than it is right now. We're going to draw a circle in the air with that foot. Now, you can do a really small circle or you can do a really big one. If you're going for a big one, you can go all the way forward, up and around, or a smaller one is just fine. Listen to your body. You might find a bigger circle easier, you might find it harder. Test it out. You will feel a really deep burn in your bum. maybe even the outside of your hip, down the side of your leg. Don't panic. If you need to, bend your knee a little bit. That'll take a bit of pressure off. When you're ready, reverse that circle. Keep going, you're nearly there. Deep breaths. Nearly there. For 4. For 3. Don't worry, we'll ease out after this. For 2. And last 1. Flex your foot, same height as your top hip. Bend your knee into your chest. Press the leg out. Bend the knee into the chest, press it out. Just keep it moving so you don't get any spasms. Got another 4. For 3. For 2. And last 1. Bring the knee in, tap out your bum. Just give a little tap out there. Now, I'm not torturing you guys for no reason. It's really, really important that you build up the glutes to support the low back. So if anyone has any low back trouble, building up the glutes will save you a lot of pain. Sit yourself forward now. Just spread your feet about hip distance apart. And you can take that left foot and bring it over to the right thigh bone. Now when you do, you don't want to bring your baby toe towards you because you put a massive strain on the outside of your ankle there. Baby toe faces away all the time here. You can always bring your right shin closer to you to make it harder. Push your left knee away. If it already feels like enough, right leg can even go straight out in front and just feel that stretch into the bum, into the hip. So if you do want to feel a deeper stretch, right knee closer in, left knee away. Always keeping that left baby toe facing away. Just hold that there for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release it out. And again, if you need to give a tap to the bum, you can. Now we have to do the other side, or everyone will be walking wonky after the class. So, set yourself up the other way. Again, if you were lying down completely flat on the last side with your head on a cushion or a hoodie, go for that again. Remember, you want to be in a 90-90 position with your legs. So knees out from your hips, heels down from your knees. Feet are flexed to start. Roll the shoulders back, chest is always open so that we can have nice, clear breaths. Hand on top of the top hip. From here, we're starting with our clamps, so we're just opening our knees and closing our knees. Opening and closing. And again, don't worry if your movement is really small or really big compared to mine. Everyone's body is different. Everyone's mobility is different. Just focus on your movement and go with a size that feels challenging for you. Just starting to activate the glute on that right side. And you might find that it activates a lot faster on this side because we've already done the other side. So there would have been a little bit of activation there already. Go for another 2. And last 1. This time we're going for our hip lift. So your foot will lift, your knee will lift. And then place it back down. So lift the leg up, open out the hip and place it back down. Deep breaths. Go for another 3. For 2. And last one, lift and hold it. Lengthen that leg out, point that toe. You're going to have the heel the same height as your top hip. Keep that chest open, try not to round out here because you will need your breath. Remember the first one, we're going to point our toe up towards the ceiling, lifting the leg up, opening out that inner thigh, lower the leg back down. So toe points up as you lift up, inner thigh gets a lovely stretch, and then release back down. You do not have to go as high as I'm going, you can always go even 2 or 3 inches up and back down. If your foot is forward of your hips, I want you to bring it back so the heel is closer to your bum. That's where we're going to keep the work in the glutes and keep the work in that inner thigh here. Go for another 3. For 2. And last 1. Heel in line with your bum, point that toe. We're going to sweep the foot forward like you're throwing a kick. Flex your foot, heel comes back in line with your bum. Point the toe. I'd inhale forward, flex the foot, I exhale back. I'm trying to make sure my foot stays at the same height all the way, so not bobbing up and down or lowering the leg on the way back. Deep breaths. If you need to pause at any stage, just drop the leg out, tap out your bum, join back in when you're ready. Go for another 3, for 2, and last 1. Heel in line with your bum, point that toe. We're going to go for a circle. Again, you can go small circle or you can go big circle. Listen to your body. Whatever you did on the other side, try and match it here. Deep breaths. Go for another 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse it. Try and match the size and the speed you did in the other direction. Deep breaths all the time. For another 4, and 3, and 2, and last 1. Flex that foot towards your face, knee in towards your chest, and then reach the leg back out. Inhale, draw it in. Exhale, reach away. Release the bum. We'll go for 3, for 2, and last 1. Draw the knee in and tap out your bum. Now you should really feel your bum really activated, maybe outer hip, even inner hip. So don't panic if you are feeling it there on the outside of your leg as well. When you're ready, bring yourself up to seating again and just pop those feet out as wide as the hips again. Roll the shoulders backward nice and tall, and we'll take that right foot onto the left thigh. Again, you can have this leg straight to make it a bit easier, otherwise bend the knee up, bring it as close towards you as you can to make it harder. That baby toe stays facing away, so we're not pulling anything on the ankle there. You can always push the right knee away to get a little bit more, or just hold the stretch there. Breathe into the stretch. Really try and keep the chest open, the shoulders back, and keep the breath nice and calm. Another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release the leg out. Now, we've done enough for the lower body for a while, so we're going to do some core. Now, if you have a hoodie, you can pop that underneath your head if you do have any head, neck, or shoulder tension. With your cushion, if it's a big one and it's a little bit of a lighter one, I want you to fold it over, so we need good support for the back, okay? If you have maybe a firmer cushion, a small round one, you can pop that underneath now. So what I'm going to do is place my head onto my cushion, onto my hoodie, and I'm going to lift my bum up, place that cushion between my bum and my low back. So I've got good support there for my low back, and my bum is up on top of that cushion as well. Now from here, all I'm going to do is roll my shoulders back, and I'm going to let them melt into the mat. I'm going to keep my feet planted for a second. I want you to take your hands onto your ribs, and I want you to just feel the breath. When you inhale, you should feel your ribs expanding in your hands. As you exhale, feel your front ribs move down towards your back ribs. Then again, big inhale, ribs expand, whether that's up, down, left, right, whatever way, just let them get big. Exhale, front ribs down to meet the back ribs. And again, big inhale, ribs expanding. And big exhale, ribs melting down. And this is the breath I really want you to do here, because this is where we're going to get the most out of our core. We'll keep the breath out of the head, neck, and shoulders. We'll take it down a little deeper in the body. Now, staying with that breath, you can place your hands down by the sides of your hips just to give yourself a bit of balance. Right leg comes into tabletop, and then the left leg comes into tabletop. Now that's just knees over your hips, shins in line with your mat. From there, lengthen your legs towards the ceiling, point the toes. Now if you feel safe here, you can pop your hands back on your ribs just to remind yourself of the breath. If that doesn't feel good for you, just pop your hands down. I'll be reminding you as you go anyway. Have your legs as straight as your body will allow. Now if your hamstrings are tight, you will find that you'll have to have a little bend in your knees. Otherwise, keep the legs completely straight, but if there's a little bend, that's perfectly fine. Now keeping the left leg where it is, you're going to inhale, reach your right leg forward, keep it straight. And then exhale, bring it back. Big inhale, left leg forward, keep it straight. And exhale, bring it back. Then again, big inhale, right leg forward.
exhale, bring it back. Now remember, when we inhale, ribs expand. As we exhale, ribs sink down. Don't worry about how far forward you go with the leg, because it depends on the mobility in your hips. If your hips feel really good, go as far forward as you can without touching the ground. If the hips are tight, move forward 2 or 3 inches and then bring it back. Now, as much as you have a leg traveling forward, let the other leg come back towards your face. So I'm going to reach my right leg forward, my left leg comes back towards me, and then I'm going to bring it back. Left leg forward, right leg comes back towards me, and then bring it back. So you're getting a big stretch on the hamstring of the leg that's coming back towards you, so the back of your thigh, and you're opening out the hip of the leg that's going forward. We'll go for another 4. For 3. For 2. And last one. Meet those feet together over the hips, legs as straight as your body will allow. Now this next exercise is going to be harder, so I would recommend go smaller to start and ease yourself into it. You're going to keep both legs glued together. We're going to inhale, reaching both legs forward. Then I want you to exhale, bring both legs back. Then again, inhaling, reaching those legs forward. You should really feel this in the lower abdominals. And exhale, bring it back. Now you keep moving. I'm going to keep talking and tell you a little bit more about this exercise. So in this one, as both legs reach forward, we're creating loads of space between your ribs and hips. We're lengthening the full abdominal wall, engaging all the muscles all the way through. Now this movement is done by your hip flexors to rock the legs forward and draw them back. Your core is working to stabilize you and keep you steady. So I want you to imagine from the top of your belly button, you're stretching the legs forward. And from your belly button, you're drawing the legs back up. So your hip flexors insert at the top of your pelvis, up where your belly button is. So let them do the work here, and then the core will stabilize, and all those lovely stabilizing muscles in the deep core get to work. Big inhale forward. Big exhale, bring back. We'll go for another 4. Test yourself now, see if you can go a little further. And 3. Last 2. And last one, I want you to reach forward and I want you to hold it there. Somewhere you can hold and hold well. And all I want you to do is focus on the breath. You could close your eyes here. I want you to inhale for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your legs an inch. Inhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. In for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your legs an inch. Last one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a small baby rock from side to side. Now if your cushion is moved, now's your time to just pop your feet down and just pop it back in. Give yourself enough support in the back and the bum. And when you're ready, bring the legs back up. Tabletop and then straight legs. We're going to go for leg circles next. So we'll start with the right leg. Keep both legs straight. Keep your left leg just straight and steady. It's staying where it is. Your right leg is going to come towards your face. It's going to go out the side of your mat, down around to the front of your mat, and then back over the hip. Now keep your right leg steady. Left leg comes towards your face, out the side, down around to the front, and back over the hip. And then that's all I want you to do, switching from left to right. Now, whenever we're doing leg circles, all you're doing is mobilizing your thigh bone in your hip socket. So if you find it too challenging with straight legs, switch to tabletop and just focus on that movement of your thigh bone around in your hip socket. Now, as one leg is doing the circle, make sure the other leg stays steady, because mobility and stability go hand in hand. So if we're mobilizing on one side of the pelvis, we do need stability on the other side. Go for another 2. And last one, we could reverse the circle now. So your leg will move down forward first, come out to the side, back around to center, down forward, out around to the side, and back to center. Again, we can do this in tabletop, or you can just go for a smaller, slower circle with straight legs. Make any modifications you need to stay in the exercise and keep moving. If at any point you need a break, just drop the legs down. You could hug your knees to your chest and join back in when you feel good. Go for another 2. And last one. Bring the knees into the chest for a second, and then we're going to reset the legs straight up from the hips. Now this time we're going to go for a double leg circle. So we're going to open the legs out wide left and right, spiral out, down and around, meet the feet together, come up through center. Opening at the top, I want you to turn your big toes out, roll your thigh bones outwards, come down and around, meet at the bottom, inhale up through center, turn the big toes out, spiral out, down and around. Now the reason I want you to turn the big toes out at the top is so we externally roll your hips out and we get the inner thigh to do a bit more work to strengthen all the way through to the hips. Don't worry about the size of the circle. Go as big as feels challenging for you, and as big as you can make sure that both legs are doing the same size circle. So if you have a little glance towards your legs and you see that you're doing a really big circle with one and not the other, bring it down so that they match. Go for another 2. And last one. And now we're going to reverse it. Legs travel down, open at the bottom, come out and around to the top. Now when you open at the bottom, I want you to turn your big toes in towards each other as you come around to the top. So opening at the bottom, big toes turn in. So now my outer thigh and my outer hip have to strengthen as I mobilize. Find your breath. And again, you don't have to go really low with the legs. You can always drop down a couple of inches and then come back up. You can always do this in tabletop if needs be. And again, I would exhale as I circle and inhale as I come through center. Last 2. And last one. Meet the feet together at the top. Now for this next one, you're going to imagine that you just have one leg. Both feet stay glued together, absolutely glued together. I'm going to bring my feet over my hips. I'm going to bring my feet out to the right, down around forward, out to the left, all the way around in a circle. So I'm imagining I just have one leg and I'm mobilizing. Now I would start with a small circle. Move from your hip bone to your pubic bone, to your other hip bone and back to the belly button. If that feels good for you, then you can take it a little wider. Remember, we can always do this in tabletop if needs be. And we're always take our breath with the movement. Go for another 3. For 2. And last one. Reverse it. take it the opposite way around. And keeping the breath just as long all the time. Go for your last 3. For 2. And last 1. Bring the knees in towards the chest and give yourself a little baby rock from side to side. We'll do one last move here to ease out. So just reset your cushion if you need to. And you can pop the hands on the ribs or on the sides of the mat. Legs to tabletop to start for this move. You want to bring your knees in towards your chest. Scoop your toes down, lengthen your legs forward. Once your legs are straight, bring them back over your hips. This is dolphin. Knees into your chest. Scoop the feet down as low as your body will allow. Lengthen forward. Once the legs are straight, keep them straight. They come over your hips. Knees into your chest. Scoop the legs down, lengthen forward. Straight legs back up. And then again, knees into the chest. Legs scoop down and forward. Back up and into the chest. Go for 3. Find your breath. For 2. And last 1. You can drop your feet down. You can lift your bum up and just take that cushion out from underneath you. Once it's out, you should feel a really good release in your back, into your sacrum. Give your knees a little hugging towards the chest and just rock it out side to side. Now we've worked all the lovely stabilizing muscles in your core, your internal, external, the deep core muscles. Now we just have to hit the obliques. So when you're ready, we're going to reset the hips to center. We're going to take our hand, our right hand, up and out from the right shoulder, and I like to have my left hand on the back of the head. Now I'm going to bring my right leg into tabletop and my left leg into tabletop. But this time I want my feet a little bit higher than my knees. I'm going to take a really big inhale, and then as I exhale, I'm going to lift up and reach my right hand for my left ankle. And then I'm going to release back out. Big inhale, exhale, reach up. Inhale, release out. Exhale, curl and reach. Inhale, release it out. Now to advance this exercise, as you reach your right hand to your left ankle, reach your left leg forward and bring it back. Exhale, lift. Inhale, release. Exhale, lift. Inhale, release. You're moving your shoulder towards the opposite hip bone. We'll go for 4, for 3, for 2. Last one, lift and hold. You're going to pulse shoulder towards the hip bone for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees in towards your chest and just a small baby rock side to side. Reset those legs, feet slightly higher than tabletop, right hand behind the head, left arm reaching out from the shoulder. Nice big inhale, exhale, reach and lift and release. Moving my left shoulder to my right hip bone, reaching out. Exhale, curl, inhale, release. Again, if you want to advance it, reach that leg forward as you reach for it. Bring it back. Reach it forward, bring it back. Go for 4, for 3, for 2. Last one, hold it, pulse. Shoulder towards that opposite hip for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees in, release it back. Baby rock side to side. Now from here, bring yourself up. You could grab onto your knee and rock yourself forward. We're going to come over into that table position one more time. This time keeping your knees under your hips, walk your hands forward, and I want you to open out the bony parts of the bum to the wall behind you. Sink your head between your shoulders, sink your chest down. Reach those arms up and really open your bum out. I might sound a little bit like I'm talking out of mine right now, but I want you to take your breath up into your bum. Every exhale that you do, feeling that movement through the pelvis. Feeling that opening with your exhale, and with your inhale, that release. Sinking the chest a little deeper. And we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Walk your hands to the sides of your head and slowly bring yourself back to that table position. You can bring your right foot forward, so we're into this half kneel position here now. Now I'm going to try and have my ankle under my knee, my opposite knee under my hip. I'm going to take my hands to my hips. All I'm going to do is rock my hips forward. So now I'm sending my front knee forward of my ankle. I'm moving and opening out my back hip. You can stay right here. You can even have one hand down if you need it. Otherwise we can take the left arm up. We can take the right arm up. So now imagine reaching your arms. Your arms are tied up to the sky and they're reaching up. Now start to lift your breastbone up. Start to lift your gaze up. And you can start to let your body lean back. Let your arms reach back. Let them reach for the wall behind you. All the while your hips are pressing forward. We've 8 more seconds. Deep breaths. Spread the toes, plant down. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly release the hands forward. You can pop your hands down to the mat as you change legs. Opposite knee back, opposite foot forward. Starting again with the ankle under the knee, opposite knee under the hip. You could take the hands onto the hips here and just rock the hips forward. So getting that stretch in the back hip, sending the front knee forward. You can stay right here lifting your chest up, or we can take our right arm up, we can take our left arm up. We can start to lift our chest up, lift our eye focus up, and start to lean your body back. Reach for the wall behind you. You can even look for the wall behind you. Still pushing your hips forward as your body is reaching away. Feeling your spine lengthen and stretch through to your fingertips. 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Flex the hands forward. Now step your back foot forward to your front foot. Stay with knees bent. Just sink your chest onto your thighs. Sink your head between your shoulders. And just let your upper body hang really, really heavy. Imagine you have really heavy shopping bags in your hands and they're pulling you down. Let your head hang nice and heavy. You can shake your head no. Now nod your head yes. And then just let the head hang down. Spread your toes. And now every breath you do, I want you to try and lengthen your legs, keeping your chest as close to your thighs as you can. When you can't get your legs any straighter, let your chest peel off just enough that you can get the backs of the thighs straight. And then once they're straight, I want you to peel your spine up on top of your hips. Your upper body stays as heavy as possible. It's still hanging down. We're just rolling up one disc at a time. When you get to the top, rolling the shoulders back and rolling the shoulders forward. Take a big inhale, arms come up into the sky. Exhale out and around. And one more big breath up and out. And you're all done. Well done.